What's going on, guys? This is Merle with Game Talk TV, and today I'm going to be doing a review versus with two different controllers, being from Xbox, and I actually have a third controller, but being the same model, just a little bit of older model. So I do have a, it's just not out of the box review. I mean, maybe on one controller, but not the other. But our first controller we're going to go ahead and get into is the Xbox Elite controller. Very good controller. If you haven't had this controller, you're doing good. This is a $150 controller. It's an awesome controller. I actually bought it for my son. I'll go ahead and show you this controller. This doesn't come with it. Right there. Let me go ahead and here's everything that comes with it. You have your joysticks, your adjustable joystick lengths, different types, paddles, D-pad, which are all detachable, magnetic. I'm sure everybody knows that if you have seen an Elite controller. And it is corded. This is the option. And it also is battery powered. But me being an Elite controller owner for the past 3 years, you really have to take care of your controller. I do not recommend you really have to baby it if this is connected. You have to make sure there's nothing obstructing anything. It has to be, in the open, because this is a lot of weight right here weighing on it right now. And there's a little bit of play in there. You see the play? That starts to grow. Next thing you know, this isn't working anymore. Your cord is worthless. Maybe if if you can charge it, this will be it. That's a good way of charging it. You have your paddles on the back, your trigger locks that are good. The newer controller definitely feels good. The grips are good. And I recommended Elite controller to everybody because I'll show you my controller. My old controller is the old Xbox Elite controller. I actually bought this with the Xbox Elite a long time ago, many moons ago. Same thing, adjustable joysticks, adjustable D-pad. I can show you how much I played this. That's no cushion on there. The rubber had just wore off. Eventually fell off. Another thing, what gave out on me right away was the back grips. They're completely gone. And they wore out within the first 3 months. They were just flapping there. I just never had the motivation to even send this in and complain and say I want a different, want more grips. I let them go. I finally tore them off. It took me 6-7 months, maybe a year. They were just flapping there. I think one of my son's friends tore it off, and I was like, all right, whatever. I'll just tear off the other one. Same thing. Trigger stops right here. I wonder if it was in the same spot as the other one. Yeah, basically the same. Same controller. Slightly different feel to them. That one just being a different color. But one thing I did buy for this one, silicone sleeve. This will definitely save your controller. Even if it doesn't have to be Elite controller. Buy that, it's like $7-8 online. You have, and it comes with adjustable thumb grips, being big, small. Definitely a good buy. I do recommend that if you do have Elite controller and you're having problems with just keeping it clean or just a lot of wear and tear. It had some padding to it, so in case you drop it. So our second controller, or third, you'd say, would be the Razer Wolverine Ultimate. This controller here is definitely a good controller. Just being 3 days into it, it is definitely, I don't know, it's won me over. Once again, owning an Elite controller for 3 years, being a second time buyer of the controller, I thought that's all there was out there, and I was very on the point to where, do I rebuild my current controller, get aftermarket parts, take it apart, work on it, and I got to looking at the prices. Like a joystick is like $40, or different paddles on the back. It's $40. Made by Scuff. I mean, who wants to buy a $150 controller and pay another $40 just to have, say, paddles in the center like this one? 4 paddles in the back that you cannot move. As far as I know, they're just there. 2 paddles at the top, so you have 6 programmable buttons, which is awesome. Being with these buttons, they do have a joystick sensitivity latency, so you have a low and a high, but you can adjust it to any button here. But I actually like the default placement of them. So if you're going for a long shot, you just hold that button. It moves, maybe like, it slows it down 10 times. So say this is normal movement, it'll go. It's awesome. If really going for a long shot, or just a particular placement you want to do in a game, say Minecraft or any type of game that takes a precise movement. Has the trigger stops on the back, as you can see. They work really good. The trigger stops are actually they stop almost immediately. Adjustable D-pad. And go ahead and it even comes in its own carrying case, which has different joystick types. It only has 4 of them, but they're all different. They have a longer one, a rounded off one, and you have your circular directional pad, and your straightforward, up, down, left, right directional pad. It's just being a little different, as you can see. The buttons there, and the buttons on the back. Very simple concept. Also, it has the present settings, so or preset settings. Sorry. So you can program 2 different settings. It also has button programming, muting for if you have a mic that plugs up to your controller, 3.5 jack, and volume adjustment. And another thing, I'll get to that. Programmable LED lights in the center, and you can do certain colors too. It doesn't have to be constantly changing like mine, and you can slow it down, the effects of it. But it being completely corded, like, little to no play here, little to none. Actually got to pull on it just a little bit to get this out. As you can see, it has a counter sunk hole, so just goes right in here. Basically one way. I'm pretty sure. Is that the right way? Yeah, that is the right way. Goes right in there. Power on. Very little play. You're not going to wear out this controller. I mean, the only thing I see giving out in this controller would be this. But you really have to, I mean, if you buy a $150 controller, you damn sure better take care of it. I've kind of learned my lesson with this one. Being 3 years old, very little drift on it. Definitely worth it, but 150 good paddles, 150 not so good paddles that you have to buy a $40 replacement for, or I think it's like $40 to $60 replacement for Scuff paddles. Who wants to buy a $200 controller versus $150 that has a programmable app, has everything you want and you need, plus the joystick sensitivity right on the controller that you can instantly slow down your joystick with. I highly recommend this one. I really don't mean to talk bad about the Microsoft product, but I mean, having one for 3 years and having this for 3 days, it's definitely worth it. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe. As always, stay up to gaming, and peace.